Hey everyone, and welcome back to Trio Treks and Travels. Say that 3 times fast, it's definitely a tongue twister. If you are new here, make sure you hit the subscribe button and give us a thumbs up to stay updated on our newest Treks and Travels. Today we are talking about Skagway, the White Pass Scenic Railway, and a mistake you don't want to make. Good morning from Skagway, our room 11644 on the starboard side. The view was just breathtaking, and I have to say for us, Skagway delivered a better initial port view than Sitka. The mountains here are truly immense, the water a stunning shade of blue, and everywhere you look, you can spot cascading waterfalls. We fueled up with a quick breakfast at the Windjammer before heading off the Anthem of the Seas. Now, stepping off the ship and onto the dock here is just magical. You feel immediately enveloped by nature. There is so much unfiltered beauty everywhere. Our big event for the day was the White Pass Scenic Railway, and we had the 8:15 departure. I want to add a quick side note here. Royal Caribbean truly takes exceptional care of their excursion guests. The meeting times, location directions, the on-time departures, everything is very seamless. If you're worried about the logistics of your cruise excursions, don't. They do a great job. Now, the White Pass and Yukon route is absolutely beautiful. This is an incredible feat of engineering built over 120 years ago during the Klondike Gold Rush of 1898. It climbs nearly 3,000 feet in just 20 miles, taking you up a narrow gauge track carved straight into the mountainside. You are literally following the path of the Gold Rush stampeders who endured unimaginable hardships to get to the Yukon. Inside, the train cars are cozy, holding about 30 to 40 people. The basic amenities on board include a small restroom, a map, and boxed water. And here's where I need to be honest. While the scenery is priceless, you may find that these sparse amenities don't quite line up with the price of the ticket. So let's talk pro tips to maximize your experience. Bring binoculars. You'll spot a lot of details up on the cliffs. Make sure you eat before you board and bring your own drink. You might not love the boxed water. For the best photos, bring your professional camera, a GoPro, or your phone, and be warned, the reflective glass on the windows can be tricky for many cameras, so be ready to adjust that. Finally, those with kids, the ride is long. Bring snacks, books, or some type of little activity to keep your little ones entertained. All right, we are on the move. Now, if you've looked up this excursion, everyone, and I mean everyone, says to sit on the left side of the train. The reason for this isn't that you won't see everything. The views are equally incredible on both sides of the round trip. The real reason is this: the onboard narrator only shares the historical and site information on the way up. If you sit on the right side, you'll be constantly craning your neck to see what the narrator is pointing out on the left. Now, on the way back down, the narration stops. So if you're a history buff, make sure you sit on the left to absorb those details in real time. If you sit on the right, be prepared to try and remember what you saw on the climb up. Speaking of the narration, we have to be honest here. We were not overly impressed with the staff on our car. They really didn't seem to enjoy their job, which took a little bit of the magic out of the experience. And something that really didn't sit well with us is the pretty direct request for a tip at the very end. For an excursion that already carries a hefty price tag, this was a definite low point. Now let's talk about the scenery, because that truly is the star here. It is gorgeous. You are treated to nonstop views of stunning mountain peaks, winding rivers, countless waterfalls. We passed through a tunnel a few times and got a clear look at a remarkable section of the original track that is completely washed out. A very cool piece of history to see up close. Just one final note on the route: the short scenic trip does take you all the way into Canada, so if crossing the border into the Yukon is one of your main goals, and something that truly excites you, then you are all set. Be warned though, this ride, particularly on the way back, can get very boring and monotonous. We often didn't know what we were looking at, and honestly, we felt like it took a huge chunk out of our limited port day. If seeing wildlife is high on your list, we didn't spot a single animal either on the way up or the way down. This is purely a history and scenery ride, so if you're hoping for bears, you may want to skip this one. The one thing that did manage to excite our 6-year-old and us too was stepping outside onto the platform. There is one in the front and one in the back of each rail car, and Standing out there, feeling the wind, looking straight down and seeing how high up, we actually were pretty impressed with this. It was thrilling. We even had another train pass by while we were out there, which was really cool to see up close. The staff will tell everyone to share the platforms, but here's a pro tip. We were with a group of adults who weren't necessarily taking turns. We actually had to politely ask if we could have a chance to go out. So if you really want the platform experience, be prepared to speak up nicely. You might have to ask to share the space. By the time we were finished, we were actually pretty exhausted. Frankly, I think we were just bored on the long way back down, and we felt like we needed a nap. So we headed straight back to the ship for lunch. The dock is incredibly close here, literally like a 3-minute walk to the gangway. We needed to wake up and refuel before heading out to explore Skagway's historic downtown. And here, friends, is the big mistake that you absolutely must avoid on your Alaska cruise. Because of the amount of time that the train ride took, we had severely limited our time for this incredible historic town, and you do not want to rush the gold rush, okay? Stepping into historic Skagway, we quickly realized that the cost of our mistake. Our entire morning and much of our afternoon had been completely consumed by the train excursion. We had so many places downtown we wanted to see, coffee shops, local snack spots. We wanted to eat our way around this historic town. But guess what? By the time we arrived, most of the places we wanted to see were closed for the day. This was super sad and a huge letdown. Don't worry though, I'll tell you the fix for this big mistake in just a moment. Despite the closures, downtown itself is exactly what you hope for. It's quaint, it's cute, and it maintains that genuine Old West feel, perfectly preserved from the gold rush days. Every building tells a story, and one spot is super popular is the Red Onion Saloon. We would have absolutely booked this historical tour and done the full excursion there if we didn't have our 6-year-old with us. We did get a fun glimpse of the saloon's atmosphere, though we actually saw one of the ladies from the Red Onion on the street, and she was quite a sight. We definitely got a good laugh out of that. As we tried to make the most of our limited time, we grabbed a couple of quick bites. We checked out the Cone Company, but honestly, that was a miss for us, not something we would go back for. However, if you're in Skagway, the Klondike Doughboy is a must-try. This adorable little shop serves up Alaskan fry bread, and it's delicious. It's sweet, fluffy, fried dough in a cinnamon sugar, and it was a perfect snack to get some energy back after that long train ride. Beyond the food, though, we squeezed in some shopping and we popped into the Harley store, spent some time browsing a few local souvenir shops. Skagway has some great local finds, but again, because of our major time crunch, we felt rushed and couldn't really take the time to soak it all in. Now that brings us back to the big mistake. We loved the views from the train and the charm of the town, but they can't be rushed. The key to conquering Skagway on your Anthem of the Seas cruise is all about timing. The architecture is fantastic, the history amazing, but our time here was tragically cut short. If you are sailing on Royal Caribbean Anthem of the Seas to Skagway, you need to hear this one piece of advice to save your day. Here is the fix to ensure you get the full rich experience of this incredible gold rush town. I would do White Pass Railway later in the day. Go into town first thing in the morning when you arrive at the port. Hit downtown early, eat breakfast, get some quality souvenir shopping in, and grab an early lunch before the crowds and before everything really starts to close down. Then opt for that afternoon train time. This way you get the full relaxed town experience you paid for. But in all honesty, my true recommendation is this. I would just skip the White Pass Scenic Railway altogether. I know this is not the popular opinion, but I cannot honestly say I would recommend this excursion, especially if you have younger kids. The views are incredible, yes, but we were bored and practically sleeping by the time the train headed back into Skagway. For the amount of time it takes and the expense, it's pretty pricey. It just wasn't worth the trade-off. Instead, save that money and that precious port time. Go explore downtown. Dive into that gold rush history on foot and see what other Royal Caribbean excursions exist that may be more thrilling and a better use of your time and less money for your travel budget. Now, thank you so much for watching, everyone. Even though we are a small tribe, we go on epic adventures. Now stay tuned for our upcoming Juno and Indicate Arm videos. I will have those ready here very shortly. Once again, thank you so much for watching, everyone.